Welcome to NSAI, the National Standards Authority of Ireland.
I'm Horst Weissieker from the chairman of VDI. VDI is one of the biggest engineering associations in the world with 150,000 members, and we have a very strong contamination control group where we have at the moment 18 parts in the VDI 2083. The biocontamination is a very interesting field, is the most demanding field in the very moment in the field of clean room technology, contamination control. And therefore, I'd like to thank very much for the invitation and the chance to discuss with you and the experts. Our WG2 working group members are unluckily not that strong internationally. That is also one of the reasons why I'm here, just to ensure that throughout the communication and the partnership with the Irish Clean Room Association, we get our ideas on the international platform as such. The VDI 83 Part 18 is dealing with biocontamination. It came out quite recently, last year in September. The German guidelines are always in German and English, so it is easily shared with the colleagues. That's what we have done today, that we partially and briefly walk through, and now we have to see whether our ideas we presented here are also the ideas of our fellow national, international colleagues as such. It is not dealing in the same way with the biocontamination as the ISO 14698 is doing it. It is more oriented to the life cycle of biocontamination. It's not dealing with classification, unluckily not, because it's a very important part of what we have to achieve internationally. What is good in this special VDI paper is that it is life cycle oriented and gives a lot of guidance to the industry, to the designers, to the constructors, and also to the operators of clean rooms, how to deal with hygiene and biocontamination as such. The establishing of control. What we have in the group 1 of the WG2 is in that way important that we have the classification system, that we propose a classification system which will allow us to do better contracts, to do better designed contamination control environments. What we still will need, and that also came up today, is the evaluation and the validation of the methodologies, and also in a way the evaluation that the classification system is giving us what we expect from designing now the new guideline. And also my recommendation from VDI, and also my personal recommendation, is that we should work into the standard also the life cycle approaches, meaning giving guidance, because that's what the people are asking for, is guidance. And they don't want to have, that's my thinking, too much regulatory things. They want guidance, and they fear that there is some kind of conflict with GMP or other things. That's definitely not what we are going to allow, and definitely that is not going to happen, because this is out of the scope of our activities. So from the point of outlook, the highest demands for what these new guidelines is needed is the hygiene, and hygiene especially also in hospitals. The death toll in Germany is unofficially something like 80,000 people per year dying through hospital infections. If you look to the US, the official reported number is 96,000 people dying in hospitals because of nosocomial infection, hospital infections. And if we can only minimize this number by 10% or 20%, and hopefully I hope that we can do it through these activities, that we can cut it to 50% of it, then this is really something where we should stop discussing whether it is related to GMP or how much it is related to GMP. It is related to biocontamination, it is related to hygiene. That's in the front of the scope we are doing. The pharmacy anyhow shall not be that nervous, because since decades they are doing it quite well in their qualification validation, and there will be not that much interference, but if ever it will be some additional guidance helping pharmaceutical industry, but not making their life not as easy. The medical devices are catching up. That's something we touched only briefly. Maybe that's something for next year, that we again see the role of medical devices and biocontamination. And last but not least, also for the food industry, which is not only here in Ireland but also on the continent a subject. The biocontamination is not always that well understood in the practical operation, and that's also a subject where I think that the new guideline will help to make their life easier.